What is going on, Big Blue Nation? Hey, a win's a win. Ugly first half, but blew them out in the second half. Was it a 19-point win? Uh, we got some Grant Darbyshire minutes and some Towel minutes like we thought. I don't know if that's how we thought it was going to go the first half, but give me. Let's start with what do you think about the first 20, buddy?
Halftime, we definitely could have done better on both sides of the ball for sure.
Yeah, what did we say? What did they do in the first half?
They were playing with their food.
Playing with their
the whole
food.
first half.
Playing with their food. Did not understand it. It just kind of seemed to be sleepwalking. That really the first half was Owe getting to the rim, made some good, and then Andrew Carr really carrying the team. I mean, there were some flashes here and there, but just collectively not good basketball. And it was the opposite of what we were hoping to get from this team when, they were talking to Pope about tournament play and what he wanted to see from this team. And he was talking about simple basketball. And every play they were trying to make was difficult basketball. He's talking about simple basketball, like smart, high-level IQ basketball, simple being easy, easy being good. That slow is smooth, smooth is fast kind of deal. And we were playing simple, like dumb basketball, like simple, you're just don't understand the game kind of basketball. But from again, focusing on the first 20, we'll get to the second 20 when the kind of game spread out. You said not good basketball, playing with their food. You wanted to see them do better. What's something specific that you wanted to, or you didn't really like in the first half?
I definitely didn't like the way the defense kind of did a little bit.
Yeah, they had 27 points in the first half.
Yeah,
but I would say that was more about missed shots, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Not really as a collective great defense. I mean, it was definitely stepped up, I would say, in the first half than what we'd seen, in just bad Kentucky defensive performances in the past. But yeah, I agree. What about on the offensive side of the ball?
It was okay, but we could have done better. Like our best players, like Kobe Brea, was just not having a good game in the first half. Like he had 4 points in the first half.
Yeah, didn't I think you're right. Had a couple backdoor cuts to layup or for a layup, but had a couple. Did have that in and out three. I see what you're saying. Difficult offensive challenged in the first half. For me, it was Lamont Butler trying to shake off the rust. In the first half, he had 3 takes to the rim, 3 misses at the rim. That's the thing. I don't know that he had a single point in the game, and which you could say is a positive sign that we got that big of a win. And one of our let's go to the box score here. Yeah, Butler, 0 points, 0 for 5 from the floor, 0 from 3 from 3. Had 2 rebounds, 3 assists. So he counted for anywhere to 6 to 9 points, depending on what they came from. But it ended up being a good game for Kobe Brea, like you said. But most of that was second half production when they stepped it up. What about turnovers? Talk about turnovers. I talk about simple basketball. What did you think about the first half, and really part of the second half of not having Lamont Butler on the floor and somebody other than him to handle the ball?
The ball handling was not really good, and we would get turnovers, but we would just give them the ball right back.
Yeah, that's that. It's that just not high level, not high IQ basketball that we are wanting to see from a high IQ coach and coaching staff, right? And it's just, but I think there was a lot of pressure on this team to get a win, and maybe there was some nerves up front. And to be fair, Troy was making shots they don't typically make. Um, that Fields kid was making shots, and I mean, I think looking at his film before the game, we talked about it on the pregame show. They had some talent, but not a great 3-point shooting team, not a great shooting team, not a great offensive team at all. And they were making shots early on, so definitely sleptwalk through the first half. But let's get over the first half, because we got a big win, 76-57, and a lot of that came when we stretched out in the second half. What did you like offensively and defensively in the second half?
I just liked our team just playing better, and also like the passing was a lot better.
Ball movement is what you're trying to get at.
Yeah,
the ball movement was better. And when you have who showed up in the second half?
Colin Chandler.
Yeah, buddy. Colin Chandler was getting it done in the second half. If we can get that kind of game from him consistently in the tournament, that's going to be dangerous, because that's a dude we've talked about before who has a lot of talent, but also has a lot of rust on his game. And if he can shake that off now, that's big. And it's also a guy who doesn't have a lot of film on him. Like, teams are going to know that he has the potential, but they're not going to be their main focus. Their main focus is going to be Brea and Ortega and Amari, right? So if he can be that that stranger to the party who can make some points or score some buckets, that's big. That pump fake gather step back three that he made in that left corner, I'll be happy to see a bunch of those. What about Brandon Garrison? You had some comments during the game about Brandon Garrison. What do you think about his second half performance?
He did really good.
This guy's been tough on Brandon Garrison, so we're getting some positive from him. So what do you think? He
did good. The second half 3-pointer that he hit was something that he usually airballs.
He did in the first half, right? The first two weren't pretty, but the third one in the second half had a good stroke. You just got to shoot with confidence. You could see the first one he kind of pulled the string a little bit. He didn't shoot with confidence, and that's the kind of one you want. Like driving to the basket, kick it out to him. He spreads the floor, but he definitely showed something in some assertiveness too, which I liked in this game. And it seems like Pope sees something in him as Xavier comes out and hits a three early on. But this is gonna be a really good game, this Illinois Xavier game. If we're going to go far in the tournament, it's not going to be because Brandon Garrison is playing a lot of minutes. It's going to be because Amari Williams is playing very well, and Brandon Garrison gives us some good supplemental minutes. That being said, if Amari Williams is going to continue to play below the rim, even though he's 7'1" or 200 something pounds, who has a wingspan where I don't even know if he has to jump to actually dunk the basketball. But he just refused to do so, and they even said that on the broadcast of he had some point blank opportunities at the rim, and he had some free throws that he missed. I think it was one. He made one free throw all game. I don't know how many attempts he had. Let's look at that so we can be educated here. Maury Williams. Let's go. Only 2 for 8 from the floor. Both those were dunks. So when he dunks the basketball, he makes it. Can you imagine that? Free throws, he was 1 for 5. So, and on a guy who I know he was 64%, I believe, on the season, but had been making those free throws in the clutch for this team. But that being said, I agree. Brandon Garrison played very well. I need Amari to step up. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know if I should be encouraged that we won by 19 and had 3 missed layups by Lamont Butler, didn't have a single point, had, Amari Williams, 8 field goals, and 6 of those were missed layups. Does that encourage you as we go play the winner of this game, or does that concern you that we can't finish around the rim?
It concerns me. It concerns me.
Yeah.
For sure, yes.
I'm going to say that it's just rust, and Amari didn't play a lot of minutes in the game against Alabama in the SEC tournament. Lamont Butler didn't play at all, and that they'll figure it out. I do very much hope that what Van Gundy said on the broadcast is they are going to blow Amari up in the film room tomorrow when they show all those missed layups that could have been easy dunks. I hope that's accurate, because if I'm on that coaching staff, I am just wearing him out about, dude, you have been blessed with size and ability that most human beings don't have. And 99% of the world does not have 7 foot with the ability to dribble and get to the rim and have the athleticism that he has. So if you aren't going to use it, we're going to have a massive problem. That's why Brandon Garrison's getting more minutes, right? Because offensively, he's better, right? You mentioned to me today that I talked about Brandon Garrison sees the floor. What I say?
He doesn't see the floor as well as Amari.
Right. He processes it a little bit slower than Amari. I think he's a good passer, but Amari sees the court a little bit better. So when he makes those passes, it's on time. Brandon Garrison has like a little hiccup in the thought process. Like there's a little bit of a longer string that needs to be pulled there for him. Now I think that'll get better, and maybe it gets better over the tournament. But Amari just, even when he doesn't score, he facilitates the offense. Just like when Lamont Butler's on the floor, he didn't score a single point, but he just facilitates the offense. And what he does on the defensive side is big too. So we don't know who we're going to play yet. I am confident that Andrew Carr is going to be a matchup problem no matter who we play against. But who do you need to see step up so that we can get out of this weekend and go from the round of 32 into a Sweet 16, which we haven't been to in a very, very long time?
I have a few things to say. I remember saying in one of these podcasts that Lamont Butler was going to lead us through the tournaments, and we need him to step up.
Okay.
More like better than what he did this game. And also defensively, probably we can get Omari Williams to maybe put his hands up a little bit
more. Yeah. Oh my goodness, you're right. I don't know why he does that. Like when he pump fakes his head and then puts his hands behind his back. I guess maybe he doesn't want to pick up a cheap foul. But you're right. He did have a couple blocks today. Andrew Carr's ability to block the ball is impressive. Like he is deceptive in how quick he is, and his ability to recover. And his athleticism is underrated. Carr is. I would be able to say he's one of my favorite players on the team, if not my favorite player on the team. What he can do, I'll take it away. Love that dude to death. He's probably the most versatile. He's the most talented player on the team right now overall, with Jackson Robinson being out. But what Andrew Carr does for this team, I think it parallels what Lamont Butler does to this team. When Carr's out, we miss something significant. When Lamont Butler's out, we miss something significant. And I guess we haven't seen what it's like to have Otega out, because he's just so tough. But those two players are special for us. All right. So you said defensively, got to step up. I agree. Just be more connected on. We gave them some wide open threes that other teams make. And to be fair, that was probably Pope's philosophy. That percentage wise, he's a very analytical dude. He's going to probably play in those percentages and say, hey, we're going to pack in the paint. They like to drive the ball and get to the rim, so we're not going to let them do that. That being said, you never know when a player can get hot. So we have the athleticism, the length, the talent to play good defense when they choose to. We've seen Barea, right? He can do well defensively because he's long. He can do that. It just, does he choose to? Does he stay engaged? Does the team stay connected? My thought is we need Brea to be the dude I was hoping he would be when Jackson Robinson came out, and he showed flashes of being a 18 to 20 point scorer a game. Today, he had 13.
13 points.
13 points. Goes 3 from 6 from 3, so 50%. I got no issues with that. But just 5 of 9 from the field. So those 2 extra buckets that he had at the rim were those great cuts. Great cuts. We had the credit on the rim, and then he had a nice drive. But we need more of the off the dribble, multi-level scorer, Kobe Brea. Like, I know he can get hot, he can get wet from 3. That's what he's known for. His shot is pretty, and if he sees the first one go in, teams are nervous because the bucket gets bigger and bigger with every shot. But from my perspective, he is better when he gets those first few buckets around the rim. Like, any good athlete, or I'm sorry, ball player, you see some go in early in those close to the rim, and then your confidence grows, and then that jump shot just gets better. You see it with Ortega. You see it with him. Like, if he can get around the rim and make a couple, 2-point jumpers, and all of a sudden now his 3-point shot, he's shooting with confidence, right? Okay, I'm going to ask you one more tough one before we get off here. Who's the player off the bench that you think steps up in the next game to get us a W?
Oh, that's a tough one. Honestly, I might say Colin
Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he had 9 points today, 2 for 4 from 3, got to the free throw line. I'm going to go a little bit off the path here and say it's like we've seen Trent Noah have big games or impressive games for what his role is. Brendan Garrison, Colin Chandler, Ansley Almanor can shoot. He's got to get back to shooting with confidence. Yeah, for some, I don't know. There's a hitch in his shot. He's rushing it. It just doesn't look pretty coming out of his hand like it usually does. I don't know what that is, but I have faith he'll figure it out. He's a experienced dude, so just get in the gym and see that thing go down. What's up, Forrest? What's up, Adam? Appreciate you coming on here. Yeah, we agree. Marty didn't have a great game, finished around the rim. But yeah, he did. He does everything else well, but he just left a lot of points on the board. Forrest, I appreciate you, my guy. The shoe games, the collection is adding up quick. They keep dropping these Kentucky brands, but yeah, that's why they make credit cards, right? Mm-hmm. Cheers. But back to what we were talking about. I think it needs to be Travis Perry. I think other teams very, very much disrespect him. And if he's going to get open shots like that, he's going to have to knock them down. Defensively, he needs to step up. He needs to be able to – I said the game is better when he's in there at point guard if Lamont Butler's out. He didn't prove me right this game. He looked rattled. It looked like he regressed a little bit. And I know Travis Perry is super talented. And this isn't a knock on his ability. It just need him to be a little more engaged and kind of step it up a little bit. Because I believe in him. He's, it doesn't matter what you look like, size, strength, build, that sort of thing. When you have the most points in high school basketball history in the state of Kentucky, you have some talent. You can score the basketball. So if they're going to lay off you and they're going to underestimate you and they're going to let you have those open shots, gotta knock them down. Make them pay for it. Make them play up on you because then it opens up the floor for everybody else. And then when you're on the floor and you're spelling Lamont Butler defensively, hey, buckle down, play tough. That Troy team should not have challenged you defensively after coming through the SEC, right? SEC is tough, very, very tough. So he gradually made progress. I want to see him step up. And I know he had the wrist injury on his shooting hand, so maybe that affected him a little bit. But we need TP3 Mr. 11, Mr. Kentucky basketball, to step up. That's my thoughts. I want to see him play well because they're not expecting him to. And that's always dangerous when you have someone like that. I think teams are starting to think about Colin Chandler now, right? They know about Ansley Almanor. Mountain Mamba, one of those two, Mountain Mamba, Trent Noah, the Lion King, as we call him. I don't know if they're expecting those two to kind of go off with consistent minutes, but well, let's go watch some film. We got Illinois Xavier right now. We're going to see who we play coming up. But getting out of this weekend and getting into this Week 16 is massive for Coach Pope, I think, and the boys really going to have to step up. We won by a lot. I'll ask you, if we have the same performance overall, same kind of scoring, defense, just overall attitude, do you think we go and beat one of these two teams?
I think we can.
I know we can, but if we have the same effort, that's what I'm asking you, the same kind of game we had today, does that result in a win, or do we think the team needs to just collectively step up?
What it looks like right now, Illinois might win. So either way, I think the team needs to step up.
Yeah, I think they need to get a little more engaged. This might be a, hey, boys, Coach Pope, coaching staff, you got lucky we played Troy because they kind of flamed out. If we had played a team who had some offensive firepower and we came with that performance, we might have been going home in the first round. And some of these guys might have been playing for the last time in their basketball career. That's the kind of message. It's a tough love type message, but it's one I think that needs to wake these boys up and say, hey, do you want this to be, do you want Sunday to be the last basketball game you play of significance, or do you want to keep going? And hopefully they all respond. And I know they'll voice that they want to keep playing ball, but the mind and the body and the heart that they put on the court need to show the same thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You got any closing thoughts?
No, I don't think so.
No. All right. Well, I told you about this before, but we want to give Jacob a shout out. He always texts me. He watches the show all the time, and he has always great things to say about you and your basketball takes. So appreciate Jacob. I know I've showed you some of those text messages before that he sends, but really appreciate him watching the show and the kind things he has to say about Jay. So shout out Jacob, and he's a big Kentucky fan too. So I know he watches the games like I do, which maybe not always the best way to watch the games with the passion that we do, but hey, it's good when you get a W. All right, let's go finish watching film. How many does that say? How many people watching right now?
153.
You're a superstar, dude. They're not watching me. They're watching you. Good job. All right. We appreciate you guys. Let's go. Let's see who we're going to play on Sunday. Let's hopefully the boys get locked in and Pope gets them ready, has a couple wrinkles, and those dudes, the Amar Williams, the Kobe Bryas, the Lamont Butlers can step up, because if they three can find it along with the guys who played today, we are Elite Eight, Final Four capable for sure. All right. Well, there's only one thing to say. What do we do?
Like always, go Cats.
Go Cats.